Hello, hello there, my Facebook friends. It is Candy here from SweetStamper.com, and I am here with your weekly installment of Simple and Stepped Up Stamping. Every Thursday, I come here on Facebook Live to broadcast at 2 p.m. Central Time, and I do something that I call Simple and Stepped Up. We start with simple stamping. There's actually a hashtag in Stamp It Up called hashtag Simple Stamping, and it starts with stamps, ink, and paper, and typically has one other element. This month it has Designer Series paper, so as promised, I have been showcasing one of the Designer Series papers that's in the sale on every one of my Facebook Lives. Hey Melissa, welcome. And so that's what we do on Thursdays. On Tuesdays, I have a weekly installment of Teach Me Tuesday. So I've actually been doing a little mini series over there on how to use the new soft pastels by Stampin' Up. They're a pastel chalk. They're a lovely medium to work with. But today, hey Judy, welcome. It's all about keeping things simple. Hi Susan. I did do drawings from my last Facebook Live that was Simple and Stepped Up. I actually ended up doing 4 cards, and we were looking at different ways to use the Sweet as a Peach stamp set. Hi Becky. And you know what, I haven't done drawings in a while, so I drew from comments, and I actually did that a little before I came on today. Hey Barb and Jackie, welcome. So I do have 4 winners, and I will announce them and then I will post them. Although I'm a little bit tight today, I have another Zoom meeting at 3 o'clock. Hi Elizabeth, I'm glad you're joining us. So Melissa Madura is going to get one of the projects from last week. So what I'm doing is I'm drawing for the cards that I made. And Susan Feliciano Pacheco is one of my winners. Corinne Buria, I think that's how you say it, is one of the winners. And Susan Carlson is one of my winners. So yay for the winners. Probably go back to doing that. I used to do it for a while, and then it's just one of those things that slips through the cracks for me because I got to do the drawing, and I got to get them in mail and everything. So anyway, hey Kristen, I'm glad you're here with us again today. So we are doing Simple and Stepped Up, and today I am featuring one of the stamp sets that is free during Celebration, and that starts August the 3rd, and this is a beautiful stamp set. You can earn this for free with a $50 purchase. So that is where we are going today. I'm going to go ahead and bring camera down and see where we go. Hey Susan. Susan, I just announced Susan Feliciano Pacheco. You are one of my winners for the drawing last week for my project. So I think I have everybody who I drew names for. I think I have your addresses, but I need to make sure. And let me just get into my page to make sure I'm seeing what you're seeing, so that when I start stamping, we're all in good shape. Let's see, is it showing up? It's not even showing up. I know people are here, so let's just see. Well, I'm seeing lots. Oh, is that me today? No, that's me like 2 weeks ago. Lord have mercy. Okay, well, while I am getting this set up, I'm going to show you the paper that I'm using. And this is the Bloom Where You're Planted. And it is one of the 9 Designer Series papers that is on sale through the end of this month only. So we only have a few days left. If you haven't gotten in on this, you're going to want to. Hey, I think, let's see, is Dudley with us today? Okay, there I am. Okay, now I can see it. Weird. Okay, I had to do like a whole bunch of back office things to even get into the video today for some reason. And Vivian is here from Maine. Welcome, welcome. You're kind of new with us, so I'm really happy to see you back. And Penny, and let's see, anybody else that I haven't, oh, Twyla, you're here with us today. and and Gail is here. Yeah, this paper is really versatile, and so that's what I wanted to go with today. And I wanted something that was fairly neutral, because this is essentially, to me, this is like a pen and ink drawing. Pen and ink is a beautiful form of art, and I thought that that would be kind of the direction we're going to go, although you could do lots of coloring on this, and you could use watercolors, you could use the watercolor pencils, which I really like on something like this. You could use the blends, you could use just ordinary markers, but I'm going to go today with a classic pen and ink drawing look. And in order to get that, I'm going to use Stamparatus. Now, Stamparatus, I think, is a great, well, it's an excellent tool. There's no two ways about that. But I think it's even a really good tool for new stampers, and I'll show you why. Okay, let me move some of my stuff here. I'm going to need the stamp set. So what I want to do is demonstrate a little bit of Stamparatus. I need to move my cup of tea because it's going to spill. Move that out of the way. Stamparatus is a stamp positioning tool. Many of you guys have this already. But for those of you who don't, let me just give you a little bit of background or instruction. So it actually comes with 2 plates, and that is, let me grab the other one, so that if you wanted to, you could position one this way and then one this way. So you can use 2 different plates. I'm only going to be using 1 plate right now, so actually I think top to bottom is going to be a little bit easier for me with this particular design. Now it also comes with this foam pad. This is for when you're using photopolymer stamps, and we're not using photopolymer. These are red rubber stamps. And speaking of which, let me just give you a little bit of kind of info, and that is that when Stampin' Up! Is creating stamps, you'll find that, you know, you might say, well, why don't we have everything in photopolymer? I love that because you can see right through the stamps and they're clear. You cannot get this kind of detail on the photopolymer. Super, super detailed. Like I said, like a pen and ink drawing, you can't get that kind of detail on a photopolymer stamp. So that's why you'll find some of our stamps are photopolymer and some of them are red rubber. Now, this has 2 super, super strong magnets on the back. So be aware of that if you have health issues with magnets. I like to put a little handle on the magnets because they are, you know, they're thin, and so they're a little difficult to pick up. They are super, super strong. And so this gives me just a little handle. So I had originally wrapped this in washi tape many years ago, and then ended up adding a little bit, just a packing tape, and that is super strong. So that is designed so that it can hold the cardstock in place. So what I'm going to do is, and I'm going to do 2 of these because I want to make my simple and stepped up side by side. Truth be told, when I used to run a lot of, for years, you know, just, I say standard, standard face-to-face card classes in my home. And I always did 2 each of the cards that we were making. And the reason I did that is I've always figured, you know, if you've got your stuff out and you're going to make a card, you might as well make a second. Then you have a second card for your stash. You have a second card as a backup. If you're, oh, I'm kind of doing upside down, aren't I? I need to go this way. If you are going to send your card out and you want a record of that and you don't want to just take a picture, well, you can always just have a second card for your file. Now, as you will see, the Stamparatus plate picks up the stamp, so I don't need a block. And the reason I'm doing this today is because I'm wanting to get that pen and ink effect. So I want the black to be really, really pronounced on here. And there's no way to achieve that with just 1 application of ink. I could achieve it if I were doing this with, if I heat embossed it with black. But that's a different process entirely. So this is just my tuxedo black ink. I'm just going to press, and that is going to transfer the ink right there. Now I'm going to lift this, and you can see I have kind of an uneven application of ink, probably because of the way that I press. Now I will say, this is something brand new that one of my helpers and stamping friends got for me, and I'm going to give it a try. This is a little tool. This is not a Stampin' Up! Item, and it's a little tool that helps you press with your Stamparatus. So let's try it out and see how we get on with it. So now I am going to ink up again, and you know, sometimes when you're inking up something like this, even your ink application, you're not applying it as evenly in some places as others. Now this little tool is just kind of got a little foamy bit here, and that allows me, ooh, that's nice. Instead of pressing it with my hand, then I just use this little handle. So I will give information about this when I'm done, if we like this. So there is my second application of ink. Now I'm still getting I'm not getting nearly as much, and I think it's because it's up near the top. I may need to pull this down. See, I fly by the seat of my pants here, and I don't know ahead of time how this is going to work. You will, sometimes when you're really close to the hinge, you don't get as good of an impression with your ink. And so that is exactly what's happening there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this down. That's why we have two sides of our paper, and anchor it like that. Now I'm going to pick this up because I'm going to just position it like so. That's where I want it. And then I'm going to pick it up. Now it's going to put the little bit of leftover ink there, but I think that is going to give me a better working. And I'm just positioning my magnet so that it doesn't get in the way of my stamp, but still allows me to get my entire image on there. So there we go. I like that. Okay, now we're cooking a little better here. So I do like the way this little tool feels, but I'm not totally sure it presses as much normally. You know, I'm just using my own body weight and just kind of, I will say this is, I find, much easier when you're standing up than when you're sitting down, because then you can use a little bit of the oomph of your own, just, you know, your body weight. So let's see how we did. Oh yeah, now we're coming through. That's the way I'm wanting it to look. Nice and strong. I'm going to go with one more application, and I'm particularly wanting to get that, that tree up near the top. I think I need a little bit more. So let's see. One more time. Well, Susan, I hope I do help you fall in love with this. Like I said, there's so many things you can do with this image. And then there's a couple of other cute images and some excellent greetings. So that is going to be my focal point. Now, I think I am going downhill just a little bit. So let's see if I can fix that on my next piece. So now, if you were paying attention, which I wasn't, you would actually put a little hash mark there, and then you'd know exactly where to put your next piece of paper. I didn't bother with that, so we're going to reposition anyway, because I wasn't totally happy with the, I thought it was a little tiny bit crooked. Now let me show you what you want to do when you are ready to clean your stamp. I'm just going to take my chamois out of the case, fold it in half, and do like that. And that is going to clean my stamp really nicely. So that is ready to reposition, which I'm going to do. I'm going to pull it right off, and I'm going to angle it just a tiny bit because I think I was going a little bit downhill on my first version. So let's try that. And now we are going to ink this up once again. Save that because this is a Stampendable, so jury's still out whether I'm going to be really happy with this or whether I'm going to be happier with my own, just using my hand. This is, you know, the Stamparatus, a lot of times we use it when we're wanting to make, you know, multiples of something. But anytime you're wanting to have a really heavy application of ink, it's also a great time to pull out your Stamparatus. Now, I know that that middle part was a little bit, oh yeah, see, that's much more even this time. And I just used my hands, so let me see. Let me try the Stampendable and see if I can get a similar action. Let's see, I'm going to make sure I got enough ink. You know, look for the glistening, but make sure it's a little bit shiny. It's glistening, just like, you know, after your plants, after a rain, glistening in the sun. That's like the way I like to think of my ink on my stamp. Let's see. Oh, that's looking very nice. But I think I'm going to go one more. You see, this side is pretty clear. This side is still a little bit, needs a little bit more ink. So for some reason, that tree is not giving me as much love as I need it to. And you know, the other thing about being able to stamp over and again on this is sometimes, you know, with a larger stamp like this, you don't get as even a pressure when you're just, you know, using your clear block. So that is my reason for using Stamparatus today. Oh yes. Oh yes, we are there now. I'm very, very happy with, whoopsie, that. Now, when you're going to put your Stamparatus away, you just fold it down like that. Now, you do store the second plate separately because with it being on, here, where did I put it? Where did I put it? With it being on a hinge, here it is. With it being on a hinge, see, if it won't lay flat. So a lot of times I just kind of stack mine like that, and then all the pieces are together. You do want to make sure that you get your magnet on the back. You don't want these to meet because they will likely never come apart again. You can get replaced with magnets, but that is Stamparatus. Okay, now we are going to do some quick and easy fancy footwork here. I've got my 2 images ready to go. So let's see what we can do with these 2 images. I know I'm going to need some dimensionals and I'm going to need some seal. I think that's all I'm going to need. Now, we're going to have a little fun here because I've got some choices on papers, and where's the rest of my papers? Here we go. I've got a lot of different choices, so I'm going to need your input. This is a 3x4 piece of crumb cake. I'm going to mat it with a 4 1/4 by 3 1/4 piece. Just super simple dimensions. Kind of a classic size for a card front. I do want to make sure that that ink is dry because there is quite a bit of ink there, and I want to make sure that I don't get it on my hands and transfer it somewhere that I don't want it to be. So when you have several layers of ink on there, you do have to be a little bit mindful that, you know, make sure that your ink is dry. And that's actually the perfect way because I've turned it over. There's no ink coming off there. I'm in good shape. Now, here we go. What shall we put behind it as far as designer series paper? I think this brick image is really nice. I think this This is a little bit more of an orangey brown because it's cinnamon cider. This is a little bit more of a gray. Do I have another one in here? Yep, I got one more choice in here. I think I need to refresh my screen so I can see what people are weighing in. This is another one that's like the gray brick, but it's just kind of a gray mottled look. So that is another choice, and that's actually cut to size. So that would be another choice. Let me refresh my screen and see if anybody's giving me any kind of input. Now, on top of that, we are going to think about our card base, because there's a lot of directions we could go here because everything is so neutral. And okay, brick. Susan's liking the brick. You know, this was my first choice too when I pulled this out. I thought that was a great choice. So there's enough here. I can just make 2 with that brick. Now, here comes the additional magic. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. Let me get my trimmer. Because when you have such a neutral piece, you can either continue on with the neutral theme, or you can add some color. And we are going to add some color. So that's at 4. Let's see. Okay. There we go. And Barb is liking the brick. Linda, Elizabeth. Okay, Susan, we got a lot of brick lovers here. And this is going to be, I'm going to pull my arm out over here. I need to put this stamp away because it's going to get away from me. See, this is where messy candy ends up with stuff going everywhere. And it's not even, yeah, I'm in a small space for the, whoopsie, what happened to the, okay. I'm in a small space for the camera, but it's not even that, trust me. When I have all the space in the world, I'm still, and there's not actually, let's see, is there enough for both of these? No, so let's go with this mottled one, because it's in the same color, same shading and everything. Yeah, let's just go with those 2. And then we're going to have a little fun, because these are going to go like so. And then let's see about card bases. So look what happens when we use, well, let's start with black. If we use black, we have something very strong, very classic. I think maybe a little bit too strong, but great masculine card right there, okay? But look what happens if we add a little color. Now, I think I'm out of camera. Where am I doing here? I need to move up here. I think this is better. Let's look and see what happens when we add a little mint macaron behind there. So what do we think about mint macaron? Tell me what you think about just adding that pop of green. Now, I also have some other pops of color. If we don't want to go with that black, which I think is a bit heavy, to be honest, what about Calypso Coral? Oh, we like the green. Okay. Let's see what happens when we do Calypso Coral. Calypso Coral looks pretty good too. What am I doing here? I'm out of camera. Am I? Oh, now Penny, you like the black. Okay. It's pretty strong, but you like that strong color. So there is the Calypso Coral. Now, just for kicks, let's just see what happens with Pale Papaya. Pale Papaya is soft. I think it's a little bit too soft. And so we have a vote for Coral. We have several votes for the green. So I think this is our wild card over here. We have votes for the Coral. And then we also have at least one vote for the black. I mean, that is very classic. It is very, very classic. So we will go with one of those here. Let's go ahead and put the adhesive down. Put the designer paper down. Oh, well, I think that's going to be too much for this particular design. Not bad though. It just, to me, I like the foliage to kind of match. So, okay, Barb is liking the black as well. So let's do one with the mint, because the mint macaron had a strong following. I think that was a pretty clear winner. And then I'm going to pop that up on dimensionals. And to be honest, I'm not even sure I need the greeting on there. You know, there is a lot to, the white and the color is throwing you off. So Penny, what do you mean by that? You mean this white paper behind me, or the white with the color? Because it's not matching anything in here. I think that might be what you're saying. Because we didn't use white on the focal piece, we used crumb cake, and I'm not using a crumb cake card base, kind of strategically, so that my little painting, as it were, really stands on its own, the white brick. So I'm trying to create a little piece, like a little painting here, a little pen and ink drawing there. Now, what I could do is I could add a greeting using this color right here. I have a little strip of mint macaron, and I think that might tie things together a little bit more for us. So let's try that and see how we get on. And the greeting that I wanted to use is, there's some really nice ones. Missing you, I'm always and forever here for you. Your friendship feels like home to me. I can't thank you enough. I like this, I'm always and forever here for you. I decided that would be the one that I'm going to use. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we can do here. And I think that once we bring in that little bit of extra green, I think it's going to kind of tie it all together. I see exactly what Penny is saying about it kind of throwing your eye a bit when you don't have, you know, that's the only green in the whole thing. My black ink went somewhere. Let's see where I put the black ink. I don't need that. Black ink pad, where did I, oh, there we go. Okay. Now, with red rubber stamps in particular, or cling rubber is actually the more accurate name, I always like to stamp it first on grid paper so that I can see if it's true to the sticker. And it is pretty spot on. So I think I'm going to go like this. And I think this is a 3/4 inch piece is what I've done. So that is what I can put right like so. I can, let's see, where's my little toolkit? Yeah, the your friendship feels like home to me is also a really nice sentiment, Susan. I agree. These are just lovely. I think that Stampin' Up! Has done a great job in just giving us some sentiments that fit a whole lot of life situations. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. What do we think? Do we like? Does it need to be over here? I would need to slash it a different way. If I was going to put it over there, let's just see. Maybe it doesn't need that slash. Maybe it just needs to be straight. We'll just do a simple straight cut. I think I like it there. What do we think? Although there's a little extra space over here. That's kind of nice too. So left or right side. And while we're figuring that out, I keep coming down too far in the camera. Then I'm also, I think we'll do the black and white on this. We had a couple of votes for black and white. This would be a really good guy card. Let's put a little bit of adhesive here. And Barb likes a no greeting. Okay, I got a couple of votes for the left. So let's do this here, and on our second card, we're going to step it up, but let's maybe step it up without using a greeting. So let's see what we can use here to step this card up a little bit. So we're going to add the kind of mottled gray looking piece of, this is not brick, this is like a stone. This is like a stone finish, and I like it. I like it a lot. Now we're going to pop this one up on dimensionals. And then let's just see what we can add to we're going to bling this one up just a little bit, I think. Sometimes less is more, you know, as much as it pains me to say it. as crafters, sometimes we just want to keep adding stuff, you know, but sometimes a bit of restraint is actually the best thing. And I think that I think people who are actual artists would tell you that a lot of times, is that, you know, using restraint is actually the better strategy. So let's see. This is going to go like so, and I do like it. Now I could add, let's just see what I've got in my little bag of tricks here. I could add a few little gold gems. They're super shiny, but they might look kind of nice there. This is kind of adding more black, so I think that's going to be a little too heavy. They might look nice over here. No, let's not. Let's leave it. I could add one of these genial gems, fairly neutral, a little pop of green or a little pop of kind of that pale papaya. Hey Marlene, we're glad you're here. We'll take you late. Let's see what else we can come up with. I could also not bling it up, and I could add a little bit of twine. This is actually the crumb cake twine. So I could add a little bit of twine. That might be nice. Let's see what else is in my bag of tricks here. Now, oh, that's kind of nice too. Keeping it all neutral. This is the Opal Rounds. I kind of like that. Again, that's a little bit blingy shiny. Now this might be an interesting choice. These are the new matte decorative dots. These are in the holiday catalog. So we have lots of colors here. That red might look kind of nice there. Since we've got the black and the crumb cake, that red might look cool. So I think we definitely don't want to use the gold or the black. I think it's too much. So let's see what else we have. Now again, we could go with the those cinnamon cider and keep the theme going of neutral. So Diane, you're liking the stamp set. Yay, that was my hope, is to kind of showcase the beauty of it. Yeah, there's those black dots, it's just too much. So what are we thinking? Anybody got a vote here? Any votes coming in yet? Anything grabbing anybody? The red or the blue might be nice here. And you know what's nice is these are matte, and I think that kind of goes with everything else. There is, it's a matte look. Now I also have, let's see, these are the elegant faceted gems. Those might be nice too. I think the sequins are just going to be too much, because to me, yeah, this is very soft, it's elegant, it's tailored. If there's a doorknob, oh, cinnamon cider on the doorknob. You know what, in actuality, this has Well, let's look at the stamp. It's a really tiny doorknob here. It's a great suggestion, but it's so tiny that I think that any of the, oh, the center of the bicycle wheel. Now there you go. Now we're talking. I like that. I wonder what would happen if we went with one of these really neutral pieces on that bicycle wheel. Maybe we need to use the black on the bicycle wheel. I guess it would help if I got my picker tool. Actually use the tool that, wrong box. Use the tool that I'm supposed to use. Let me give this a try, and if this doesn't work, I'm going to open up these. These are fairly matte because they're cross-hatched. So let's just see how that would look. Ooh, I kind of like that. Where'd it go? There it is. That's kind of a cool look. I don't know. What do we think, ladies? Let's try the red. Okay. The red is going to definitely be a nice little pop of color. And Penny is wanting black again. Let's try a little pop of red. Let's lift these and put them over in our case again. I mean, this is part of the fun, it's the little finishing touches. It's like when you have an outfit and you need just that last little, you know, it's putting on the earrings, it's putting on the little scarf or the shoes. What do we think? That is the red, and the black, I do think that if we're using the bicycle wheels for our little pop of color, I think the black might just work. I think they were too much if you were going to scatter them. Let me find where I put them. Especially if we have the small ones, which I think, yes, here we go. You know, Penny, that might just be the ticket. I like the red. It's very soft. These are very soft, which I think is, you know, this is definitely not a rhinestone kind of card. It's not a blingy card. I do like the fact that it's very, you know, I could send this, I don't have a teenage grandson yet. My grandsons are too young to have a card like this, but I think a teenage grandson, this would be lovely. But I do have a godson who's not a teenager. He's in his 20s, but he's a grad student. That's kind of nice. Kind of nice too. What do we say? Okay, so Susan likes the red. Here's the black. What are we thinking? It's definitely a lot stronger than the red. The black is bold and the red is more subtle. So let's see if we get a few more votes going. I'm going to pull this one in so we can just see. This is the one that was just the stamps, ink, and paper with a little pop of color with our cardstock. And then this is the one we're just finalizing by just adding a little something. And I think I'm not even going to put the greeting on there. I don't think it needs it. I like this because it brings in the green. Money inside the card would make everyone love it. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, Mary, I didn't even see you here. So you're liking that black. Okay. Yeah, tuck a little money inside and everybody will love the card. Okay, we're just waiting for a few more votes here. And for those of you who are not aware, this is a holiday catalog sneak peek item, matte decorative dots. They're really lovely. They have kind of a gradient effect. You can see how they get darker and light. Actually, I used the lighter ones. I should have gone with these darker ones. The color on the background paper, this is Designer Series paper, Mary. This green here is Mint Macaron. Okay, we're still getting a couple more weighing in. Let's just see. Let's pull the black. I'm going to try the darker red and then we're going to try the blue. Because the red I used, I didn't realize this is a gradient effect and I was using the palest. And I think actually I'm going to use this tiny one. There's a really small one on here, and I think that might be a better fit. Oh yeah, that's a better, I think, you know, when it comes to scale, that is definitely a better fit. So there's the red one. It's a nice little pop of color. Yes, the printed paper, Mary, this is designer series paper, and it's called Bloom Where You're Planted. And this is you get, this is one of the papers I'm using, and this is the other paper I'm using, but this is the double-sided. It's one of the papers that's in the sale right now, only $9.78, and you get the whole pack of 12 sheets. Okay, so we're liking that smaller one. Now, the one other thing we haven't tried is we could try doing this in blue. So let's just see. And then I gotta go because I got a Zoom meeting in about 15 minutes. Let's try this blue. Very subtle, just a tiny bit of color. It's actually really nice. It's just, it's softer than the black, but it's not as bold as the red. So tell me what you think. I mean, you wouldn't even think this is the color. This is the color. And I don't know, are they telling us what the colors are on here? It's in the catalog, but I'm not even totally sure what that color is, but I like it. I think I'm gonna go with this blue one. I think everybody's gonna be, I think that kind of is like meeting in the middle on that black was a little bit strong. It was nice. I liked the black, but it was a little bit strong. And I think the strong was because of the size and because of the shine. Because these are matte, it's not picking up any light, and therefore it's a little bit more subtle. So I think I'm going to close it up, and I will post on here later today the winners of my drawings, and that is for last week's Facebook Live cards. I did the 4 fruit cards using the Sweet as a Peach stamp set. And Susan Carlson is one of my winners. Corinne Buria, I think is her last name. Susan Feliciano Pacheco and Melissa Madura are my winners. So you will be getting a card in the mail. And I think that we had fun today. This is our simple card, and this is our stepped up. I mean, I stepped up with 2 dots, that's it. But this is the power of this lovely, lovely stamp set called Feels Like Home. Free stamp set with a $50 order beginning on August the 3rd. Our celebration time. So I am going to sign off. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I will be here again next Thursday at 2 p.m. Central Time, and I really appreciate both of my Facebook Live sessions, Tuesday and Thursday. Just the way I like to create and the way I like to design is I feel like I'm in a live setting with y'all, and so I like to get your input. And I don't design ahead of time. It's just the way I run. So I kind of have an idea, like I've only pulled like 3 colors of cardstock here. I didn't pull every single one that I have. And I pulled a couple of designer papers, but then I want your input on what you think is gonna look good here. So I usually have a little bit of an idea, but then I like to have that creative input. Not only do I feel like it's fun to create together, but I think it gives us the feeling of actually being together wherever we are. So if you're at home with a baby, if you are in another state, if you are at work, wherever you are, that we can feel like we're actually creating together and doing something together. So thank you so much again for tuning in. I appreciate it ever so much. I love your support here. If you have a mind to share my video, I would love that. It helps me with Facebook. And I will be here Tuesday for Teach Me Tuesday. And I believe that Tuesday is the first day of celebration and the holiday catalog, otherwise officially known as the July to December catalog, but I just call it the holiday catalog because to me that's what it is. And that's easier to say than July to December all the time. So thank you so much. I see people sharing already, and I appreciate you ever so much. Kathy Sanford, I didn't even see that you were here today. So welcome to everybody. If I missed you, I apologize. I usually can catch comments while I'm stamping and while I'm working. But I do love your input. I think together we actually do better when we work together. So that's kind of a general principle that together we are better. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you love Feels Like Home free celebration stamp set beginning on August the 3rd. Thanks so much. Take care and God bless.